Listen to them, the children of the night. I like them.
Thanks, Dracula. Dracula, eh? What do we know about that guy? He enjoys his privacy, but at the same time he goes out of his way to make guests feel welcome.
Please, I insist. Another cup of tea, maybe I'd be scared.
He's also deficient in vitamin D, which is short for vitamin Dracula. He doesn't like being disturbed while he's asleep. Just like me, he gets a little bit nervous when in the proximity of too many crucifixes. And he also doesn't like being impaled permanently through the heart with a piece of wood. He's pretty relatable. Meanwhile, what does this guy have going on for him?
Matt, I just wanted to quickly check. I think most people watching this review would probably identify more with the idea of killing Dracula than like being him or relating to him in any way.
Oh,
really.
yeah. You would say this. Look at your forearms. You got big Belmont energy. This is a simple two-player head-to-head card game that doesn't technically have any cards. And much like one of the Lord of the Rings cards games we've covered recently, there's a map with things on it. A little treat for your eyes. This map isn't really a map, though. It's like a buffet of meat treats, aka humans. And as Dracula, you'll be wanting to paint that town red by turning people into vampires, while Mr. Van Halen over here aims to repeatedly pierce you through the heart. Which, when you put it like that, just sounds pretty emo.
But how does this work?
Well, this deck of chunky tokens are actually just called chunky cards. I said it didn't have cards. I mean, are these cards? Jury's out. Each of you are going to take 5 and slip them into the wooden holder on your side of the board. So you'll keep them secret from that pesky other player. After that, you just take it in turns to take the top card from the deck, look at it, and then either discard it, or you discard one of the 5 cards you currently have to replace it with the one you want to keep. And these 2 sets of opposing secret cards, at the end of the round, they will all be revealed one by one. High numbers beat low numbers, and in the event of a tie, where 2 people, for example, play a 7, you've got this crescent mini board that shows you the relative strength of each of these colors, with one of these colors being the trump suit that will basically win every time when facing any other number of any other color. And the trump suit at the start of the game is always blood.
But, what is this?
Yes, Dracula, there's also little symbols on these cards underneath the numbers. Each number from 1 to 8 has its own unique power. These powers let you swap the positions of your cards around, or even swap cards like for like with the other player. You can change which of the suits is currently the trump, and then the number 5 card just lets you have another go.
Just have another go.
I'll just have another go.
Just have another go.
I'll have another go.
Oh, have another go.
Oh. But there are 2 rubs here, like an overbooked masseuse. The first one is that the powers are all mandatory when you discard a card, and not all of them are good. In fact, the worst one, the number 1 card, when you discard that, you have to reveal one of your own cards. So you can just see it. It's not good. And rub number 2, I just mentioned it. You only get these powers when you discard that card, and it means the higher value cards have better powers. But to use those powers, you have to get rid of the better value cards, and you want them. Meanwhile, these lower value cards are crap, but replacing them with better cards means you then have to spend your turn doing slightly crap actions. So it's a double-edged sword and a great little puzzle. I'll have a fantastic hand of cards if I just use some of these abilities in order to change the shape of the game a bit, but in doing so, I don't have those cards anymore, and I'm gonna have new cards, which I haven't seen yet because they're still in the deck. 5 is a really perfect number here. It's enough that it always feels like you've got a bunch of cards, but very few of those cards need to change for it to feel like things have changed a lot. And unless you're willing to leave yourself completely at the whims of playing any power that you draw from the deck, the cards you have in front of you are going to be changing frequently. And not only are you constantly replacing these cards, sometimes your opponent is going to be swapping them and stealing them.
All of this sweeping and swapping is a bit random, no?
Actually, Dracula, no. There are only 8 types of card, and only 4 copies of each, one for each suit. So there's only 32 cards, and having all of them in play every round means you've got a really visible arc. There's only 4 of each type of power, in play at any time. So once you've seen that power used 4 times, you know you're safe from it. You can't steal my cards anymore, Barbara. You can't just keep changing the trump suit back and forth, Kev. And if I have 5 yellow cards in my personal piece of wood, that means the absolute maximum the other player can have is 3. That's maths. It's all very dairy deducible. There is one bit of fiddliness here, but it's a rule that's consistent and it's pretty flippin' neat. As mentioned earlier, certain abilities reveal cards, and when that happens, that card is now face up and visible to all players for as long as that card is in the game. If it's visible when it's on the top of the draw deck, it's visible when you take it. And if you swap cards with another player, then it still stays revealed on their side. Enjoy that. It's just mean, and I like it. There's just a lot of juicy possibility within this design, and the best thing is you find yourself getting into it way more quickly than you might expect. It's the kind of game where you feel like you're really playing, if you know what I mean, like you're playing almost immediately, but you still have more to think about and more things unfolding as you play again and again. There's an immediate ponderous sharpness to this game. It's like it's casted a magic spell, a glamour over you. Both players immediately become quite quiet. It's this delicious battle of wits in which you both pull the strings carefully, getting all of the right cards and getting them all into the right positions. Perfect. So at the end of the round, when all of the cards are drawn, you will destroy your opponent. Except pretty early on into each round, any player can just say, that's it, that's the end of the round now, and then you get one more turn to do something, and that's it. That's the end of the round. Worse than that though, you can discard an 8. The action on the 8 card is just end the round immediately. No final turn to do something, it's over, stop, boom. It's terrifying and unbelievably juicy. When that happens and you didn't see it coming, you can feel your stomach dropping so fast that you get a bruise on the inside of your bum. The fact that the round can end so quickly in 2 different ways means there's a sword hanging over things constantly, and it adds a lovely smidge of space for a nice bit of bluffing. Maybe I'll pretend that actually my hand of cards is very, very good at the moment, and we could end whenever, I'm fine. And I've just got to hope that they don't end the round early, hoping to cut their losses, and then it turns out that I've got nothing and I'm in a worse position. Should you bluff? I don't know if you should bluff. Oh, this is a good game. And the thematic parity of all of this stuff too. Oh, both players are engaged in this kind of slow dance. Oh, you are cordially invited to the castle for dinner. I will come to dinner, but I'll be quietly sharpening this wooden thing under the table. And so you both stroke your chins, trying to assemble the perfect strategy, and then BAM! What do you got? It's over. It is tense, it is exciting, it is a constant fountain of tiny, fine moves. Shut Up and Sit Down 100% recommends Dracula versus Van Helsing. And I fell in love with this game before I even realized that it all fits so snugly into this nice little box with a compartment for the smaller bits that's an actual coffin. Yes. And finally, I love that it has this slight table presence. You can spread out and have space, but if you're crunched in, you can play a very thin style. Slender, lean, delightful, much like the good Count himself.
I'm moving different.
It looks perfect for the pub.
It is, but there's one small little problem, maybe. Just like Dracula's diet, I'm not sure if it's terribly balanced.
I'm sorry, everyone. Whilst we did manage to get Dracula to do most of his lines whilst he was here, this one he just refused to do. He wouldn't do it for some reason. He said it was undignified, he said it was uncomfortable, he said it just wasn't very good. So I'm going to do my best approximation of Dracula, but once again, apologies for not getting the man himself to do this one. Here goes.
I poo 4 times a day.
Oh, great. Is that good? It just feels easier to win in this game when you're Dracula. And that seems like a problem, but when I say that aloud, as a sentence, I think that's good. I think that's probably the way it should be. Helsing just needs to win anywhere, lots. Each time you beat one of Dracula's cards, You take one of these tokens and you've got him in the pumper. But it's wild how many times you have to do it. You have to do it like 14 times. It's like someone trying to get the last bit of ketchup out the end of a bottle. But at least it's simple, and that simplicity should make it easier to play as the human hunter. You just need to win loads of times, whilst Dracula has to win in specific places. The problem is though, that puzzle for Dracula is a puzzle for you. You're more often than not thinking, how can I win? But also, how can I make sure I don't lose in these places? But if you spend too long just blocking key districts, well, after 5 rounds, the wet bus is a leaving town. Dracula wins as he escapes on a boat. It's the original Dine and Dash. It's honestly just naughty. Because the rest of the game is completely symmetrical, you're both playing exactly the same game, I quite like the edge of texture that you have by the fact that it just feels harder to beat Dracula than it is to be Dracula. But I can understand that for some players that might be a problem. You know, you might be like, yes, you can play it and then switch roles and play it again. For some people, having a balanced head-to-head game is really important. For me, in this instance, it's not. Your mileage may vary.
And also, honestly, we never really talk about games being unbalanced because I don't think I'm good enough at games to know if it's true or not, and it might not be true. Thank you.
Finally, dang son, this art is just radical. In a perfect contrast to the smooth and statuesque beauty of Big Daddy Drac on the box cover art, the people of Whitby are just odd, angular, lumpy. This mismatched bunch are the sorts of folks who you just generally might not immediately notice if they turned undead.
Weird Kevin, he's acting a bit weird this week. Have you seen him?
Weird Kevin's always a bit weird, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think I saw him eating a cat over a bean.
Oh yeah, that is weird. He's probably just having a bad day at work.
Mondays, am I right, Garfield?
I like this game a lot. It's really, really good. It's one of the best 2-player games I've played in a long time. I highly recommend it. I've not got anything funny to say to end the video. You got anything funny?
No!
Okay, bye.
Before you go, my children, let me tell you a little joke. Where does Count Dracula the vampire go on holiday? France!